Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how I use the Hydro team with Florence and Yohee against the Gunsmoke boss Chaos using the buff Unrestricted Support. Alright, let me just put my units where I like them. And I like to set my units up like this. And it's important to have Florence on the right for my setup because I'm going to put her on the left. And that's because her summon you don't control, so you have to put in your team in a way where you can position her summon where you want it, which is going to be inside the boss's AoE where you see the red tiles. Okay, so we'll start with Yohee, and I position her right in front of the boss on the left. Use her ultimate. And I use her first step. Doesn't matter who you put it on, it's an AoE. Then I use her skill 1. Then use her step 2. Again, doesn't matter who you put it on, it's an AoE because the ultimate. Then Springfield has the highest HP, so she'd be in the center of that AoE I was talking about with the red tiles. I'm going to put Springfield in front of the boss a couple tiles away and use her ultimate. Then use her skill 2 on Tololo. Then I'm going to move Florence behind Yohee and to the left of Springfield. That way the summon, her summon, will always position adjacent to her, either on her left, right, in front, or behind. And since her right side and her front are already filled with units, the closest square is going to be behind her. And that's still going to keep the summon in the red tile AoE, which I want because you want him to get hit as many times as possible so he can build up his stacks for his buff. We'll go ahead and move her here, and then I'm going to use her skill 2, which is her stimulant, which is the attack buff on Nikita. And you'll see her summon move behind her. Now, I was just saying, his stacks that he gets, I believe, it's going to be mentioned in here. When he or Florence takes damage, performs a counterattack. For each time he takes damage, so that would mean that since he takes damage for Florence, either one, he gets a mark of shame. Once he gains 5 stacks, it's converted into Tremor of Despair, which is an attack increase of 35%. Alright, so I'll just go ahead and move Nikita here. Now the boss has the buff that he puts on, or should I say status effect that he puts on the closest and the furthest target. Technically, Nikita and Arias, which is Florence's summon, are the same distance furthest away, but the boss will designate Nikita as the farthest, and I'm assuming it's because it's further to the side. So we're going to go ahead and use her skill 2. And we'll use her skill 1 on the other side on the front of the boss. And we'll move Tololo down, use her skill 1. And put her in front of the boss, use her skill 2. Then I use her ultimate. we'll start with Yohee. Use her skill 1. And since there's nothing to cleanse, I'll just use her first step 1 on Tololo since she doesn't have the buff. Which is graceful spin. And increases critical damage is mainly what I do it for. And then we'll go to Springfield. Use her skill 2 on Nikita. Oh, and I forgot to mention Nikita, Tololo, Springfield, and Florence are all V6. Yohee's V3. And since I have Florence at V6, that means her stimulant lasts for 2 rounds. And since Tololo, I used it on stimulant on Nikita the last turn, she still has it this turn, so I'm going to use it on Tololo this turn. And I'll move Nikita to this chest, but I won't pick it up yet. I'll use her skill 2. And this is because the buff from this chest lasts for 2 turns, and extra actions count as turns as well for this buff. So I go ahead and use her skill 2, which afterwards counts as 1 turn, and then I pick up the crate for the attack buff, or the damage buff. Then I put her back in position and use her ultimate. That way it carries over to the next carries over to the next round, or the next turn, where I can have Tololo go before her, so I can activate both her counterattacks while she still has the buff. So instead of getting 2 just this turn, I would get 1 this turn and 2 on the next one. So I'll go ahead and move Tololo to this chest here, but I won't pick it up. I'll use her skill 1 because I want to save the, again with the extra actions they count as turns, and it lasts for 2 turns, and I'd rather save it for her skill 2 and her ultimate, which will do more damage. There we go. 1. Get the chest. Put her back for the boss. Use her skill 2. Use the ultimate. And use the other ones inside the red tiles for that AoE. Okay, so I'm going to start with Yohee. Use her skill 1. I'm going to use her step 2 on my Nikita. Best Dancer kicks in and then cleanses everyone of that debuff, which gives everyone the crit, I believe is a crit damage buff. Yes, crit damage buff. Okay, then I'll use Springfield. Use her skill 2 on Tololo. Now Florence has no Perfectus Index, so I have to use her ultimate this turn, or else her summon will disappear at the end of her turn. Then if I resummon him the next turn, I'd have to start building his buffs all back up again, but if I use her ultimate now, he keeps all his buffs. Now here I use Tololo first, that way I can have Nikita use both her counterattacks with the buff from the crate, which is increased damage by 20%. So we'll move her toward the other chest. Use her skill 1. Move her up to the chest, but end the action because it's still on their first attack. And then pick it up. And then work your way back to the front of the boss. And here I'll use her skill 2 here. Then I move her in front of the boss and the interaction. Use her ultimate. And the action. Then have Nikita use her skill 2. And now her buff, that one buff is gone. Use her ultimate. Start with Yohee again, use her ultimate. Since nobody has any debuffs, I'm just going to use her step 1 both times. Step 1, use her skill 1. Use step 1 again. Doesn't matter who you pick, it's an AoE on both of them. Now we use Springfield's ultimate. Then her skill 2 on Kita. Then I'll have Florence use her skill 2 on Nikita. Then I'll have Nikita use her skill 2. Then I use her ultimate. Now I'm going to end up killing the boss early, but I'll try to remember how and explain what you would do if you had to fight all 7 turns. So, and then with Tallulah, we're going to use her skill 1. And the action. Use her skill 2. And the action. Use your ultimate. And the action. Okay, so it looks like Florence pays the 2 Confectus Index cost of keeping her summon out at the beginning of your turn. So I just want Salt to go down from 4 to 2 at the start of this. Alright, so we're going to use Yohee's skill 1 again. And everyone has a step buff, so we're going to use her step 2 on Tallulah so she doesn't. And it'll also cleanse that debuff, which refreshes the timer on the buff, the crit damage buff on everyone. And Springfield is going to use her skill 2 on Tallulah. And Florence is going to use her skill 2 on Tallulah. Now we're going to have Nikita go to this chest. Don't pick it up, just use her skill 2. And then have her pick it up after that. Move her back over next to Florence. Use her ultimate on the boss. And then we're going to have Tololo go for the chest in the back. So we're going to go get her as far as, or as close as we can get. Use her skill 1. Go up to the chest, don't pick it up in the action. And then we pick it up. And then we head back to the front of the boss. Use her skill 2. Looks like I'm gonna probably kill the boss on the next attack. So in the action, and then she would use her ultimate, but before I do that and finish off the boss, that will end the turn, and then at the beginning of the next turn you would use Yohee skill 1. Then you would use her, I would say, probably her step 2 on someone who's got a debuff, which looks like it'll probably be Tololo. No, actually no one has it but Springfield and the summons. So you use your step 1 on Nikita, so she can get that crit damage buff from the step. And then use Springfield's skill 2 on Nikita. And then Florence, she'll have 0 Confectus at the beginning of the next turn, so you would use her ultimate again on the boss, which will fill up her Confectus index gauge. And since Nikita just got the chest, she'll have her damage buff on the next turn. So you would start with Tololo, or you would do Tololo before Nikita. And you'd have her go to this chest, but not pick it up, use her skill 1 and the action, and then pick up the chest, move back in front of the boss, use the skill 2, and then her ultimate, and then you'd use Nikita's skill 2, and then her ultimate. And in the turn there, and then at turn 7, you would do Yohee's ultimate, unless you do it on turn 6. I'm pretty sure that means it's still going to be on cooldown until turn 7. Either way, the turn 6 or 7 you would use her ultimate, and then you would just use either step 1 or step 2. It's your choice. If you use the ultimate, it doesn't matter who you pick as an AoE, then you use your skill 1. Doesn't matter what step. Turn 7 with Springfield, you would definitely... Okay, yeah, so it would be turn 7 because Springfield's ultimate is not going to be up until turn 7. So turn 7, Yohee ultimate, whichever step, skill 1, whichever step, Springfield ultimate, use her skill 2 on Tololo, Florence would use her skill 2 on... I would use it on Nikita, but at this point it doesn't matter. You can use it on Tololo if it's more invested. And then it would be Nikita's skill 2, ultimate, and then Tololo's skill 1, skill 2, and skill 3. Now this is assuming if the boss lives that long. So we'll go ahead and finish off the boss here. And that's it. So let me just go ahead and show you this if you want to look at it. And thanks for watching.